COVID-19. So now all of a sudden we have 100 deaths that apparently came from COVID-19. And only a week or so later, they done another report again, because they have to keep updating their reports. And the report that came out, the next report that came out after that was, instead of the 100 people that died from supposedly COVID-19, but they have to prove they even exist in it, because they haven't been carrying out the right tests for it, is that 96 people have died from COVID-19. So did all of a sudden 4 people resurrect in the last couple of weeks before that? It's a bit of a mystery as to what it was. But even if you're going on their own official narrative, like less than 100 people dies from COVID-19 and almost a population of 5 million people in the country. And that justifies locking down the whole economy. Depression, suicides has gone through the roof. People are lost their jobs, their businesses, everything else. Even if you're to believe the whole thing exists, it is no worse than an actual flu itself. I mean, even the World Health Organization comes out and they says they have an average 1.5 million people from TB that die every year. Why is there no pandemic in every year? I mean, people die from flu seasons all year as well. But of course, it's all cases over the summer at the minute, because even the British Lung Foundation over here in England has come out in the summertime, and they said that anything got to do with the lung respiratory system itself, it all drops by 80% in the summertime. Because any sort of virus-like situation will not thrive in the summertime compared to the actual colder weather and wintertime itself. So all they're basically doing is bubbling the cases away over the summer and waiting until the wintertime. So literally they can turn the cases into deaths themselves. And then they can all go pandemonium and say, oh, we're back to COVID-19 again. But of course, the cases are pretty much irrelevant. That doesn't really tell you anything that's going on at all. And it should be governed on deaths of what it is. And deaths is at a minimal. Here in England, the other day, it was something like 17 deaths. And they never even, and this is from BBC source, they said 17 deaths. And they just presumed there was no coronavirus, no COVID-19 around it. Just announced today so many, I think it was over 4,000 cases, 17 deaths. So 17 deaths in a population of the guts of about 65 million people. And they're already pandemonium, second wave is on, must go back into lockdown. Of course, they're not doing a full national lockdown like they were a couple of months previous, but that's the way it will turn out, because we'll leave it to localized authorities and we'll just do local lockdowns bit by bit. Eventually we'll go to national lockdown. And I told people weeks and weeks ago, I says, keep your eye on what's ever happening in Melbourne. It'll be 2.0 across here when it comes into our wintertime. And just like follow what China is doing in the sense that keep one eye on China as well, because a lot of people are under this illusion that China are bad, and yes, they are, not saying they're good, but they're under the illusion that it only happens over in China. It won't ever come over to Europe and countries like that. Well, I can guarantee you it will. Watch what China is doing, and we'll have the same military stance, boots in the street that will be over in the West as well. We only had some here a couple of days ago in Birmingham, where the military actually called to people's houses, asking them, did they want to take the COVID-19 test? I mean, people got to ask, like, why are the military calling to your door asking to do a test? It's just, it's madness to what's being rolled out at the minute. And unfortunately, the people who are still asleep are going to drag a lot of the people down who are awake. So it's, yeah.
Yeah. So if what and ask you what is going on, what would you say to them?
That's a huge question in itself.